what I want to share with you is what I have learned that seems to help a forming eco-village or an existing one succeed and thrive. Can everybody see this little circle? So I think there are three things. I'm going to put a secret little section here and get to it last and tell you what this is too after we continue. Okay. Usually this is an hour presentation with lots and lots of participation from the people, but I'm going to go really fast so I can fit this into the remaining 7 minutes. I hope that's fine with you. I'm just going to buzz on through. When I do this in workshops, generally people who have lived in community for a while recognize it. And they say, yeah, that's right. And generally when I do workshops and I ask people, what do you remember the most? It's this. This has turned out to be quite popular. I hope you find it useful and helpful. Okay, what things help a community thrive? I'm going to start with the second one, which I call community glue, or community spirit, or that sense of us, that sense of well-being that we together have, that sense of a greater we than just myself. And community glue is achieved by shared, enjoyable activities. Well, people who live in eco-villages and other kinds of intentional communities know exactly what that is. Potluck meals, shared meals, work parties, playing frisbee, playing volleyball, playing anything together, card games, board games, theater night, film night, movie night, charades, skits, jokes, singing and dancing. You all know very well these things. Shared enjoyable activities tends to help each of us produce something that you will probably recognize, oxytocin. It's a hormone that our bloodstreams produce when we're in the presence of some kind of enjoyment. And it tends to create a feeling of trust and gratitude to the people and with the people we're having this shared enjoyable activity with. So let's say we're playing volleyball, like we do at my community at Earth Haven, an eco-village in North Carolina. Everybody is rooting for everyone. There's competition, but there's also helping and cheering for the other side. It's a very cooperative kind of volleyball. It's wonderful fun. People love it. They walk home in the dusk of the summer evening from the volleyball game on the green, beaming and smiling. Why? They're filled with oxytocin and a feeling of connection to those playing on their team, the other team, and the people watching. Oxytocin produces trust and gratitude. Trust and gratitude produces oxytocin. Shared enjoyable activities are hugely significant and important for happiness in community. It's necessary. When people are going to start a new community, this is what they think of usually. But there's two other things. Good process and communication skills. When people don't live in community, they don't know they need this. After they've lived in community a while, they absolutely know they need this. Is that your experience if you live in community? Okay. Good process and communication skills. I'll just do that. I used to have a whole list of things I recommended, but now I only recommend 2 things, and I won't say too much about this so we can move on. NVC, nonviolent communication. I highly recommend it for general communication. And restorative circles, which is a relatively new conflict resolution method with extremely good results at creating connection, harmony, goodwill between the people who were formerly in conflict. Restorative circles, created in Brazil in the 1990s. No more about this for now. What's this one? I'm saving it for last. This is effective project management. We have an expensive, serious project to ongoingly manage. We're not just playing volleyball. We're not just having deep interpersonal connections. We have to actually pay the bills, keep track of our agreements, make sure our agreements are available to everyone. Thank you. And I think it's less than 5 minutes now, right? Okay. All right. And so what does this include? Well, we have a shared purpose, and we all know what it is. We have shared values, and we know that we do. We have a shared lifestyle, and we know what it is. We have a clear, thorough membership process, so we can attract those people who want to do what we want to do. They share our purpose, our values, our lifestyle. They generally get along with most other people most of the time. How do we know? We have a trial period or a provisional period. And we understand that they need to be people who want to do what we want to do and don't want to join us and then later wipe it out, which does happen sometimes. I see some nodding heads. I'm sorry that has happened to you, but it's pretty common. Okay. We also need to have ways to help our members, time to get up, stay accountable to our agreements. What? You mean people would break the agreements that we have made? Does this ever happen in communities? All the time. We need to have gentle, courteous ways that are not like mainstream culture to induce our members to come into compliance with what we together have decided. Of course, we have to have clear agreements too. So what's this in the middle? Aha. I did that on purpose. Governance, which is the structure of how we know which groups are doing which tasks, which roles, which authorities and responsibilities, how much money is being spent, how we manage our time, our money, and our labor. This is drops of sweat, labor. How do we manage that? How do we keep track of it? And one of the pieces of governance is our decision-making method. Decision-making is not governance, it's a part of governance. Governance is not decision-making only, it includes decision-making. Effective project management, in my experience, happens through this one. If our governance is working well, we will manage our project well. If we manage our project well, we're creating community glue and oxytocin just by the fact that things aren't going wrong at a big and basic level. When we have a lot of community glue, it's like a bank account or an immune system for our community, which means that we can draw upon it like we had credit in the bank. When we have conflict, the conflict isn't as big when we have lots of community glue. These three things and governance mutually affects each other, mutually reinforces each other. If we have too few of something, if we have not very good communication skills, we never did learn NVC, we don't do restorative circles, we just talk the way we already always do. We haven't learned special skills for being in community where we're always influencing each other. We're gonna need a whole lot more community glue and absolutely superb governance. If we have rotten governance because we just don't quite know how to do it, or we're stuck in long, lugubrious meetings where we can't make decisions and the same things come up over and over and people are exhausted and demoralized and they quit going to meetings, I hope this has never happened to you, but it's not uncommon. Well, then we need a whole lot more good process skills. We have to have conflict resolution all the time, and we sure need a lot of that. But we're not going to have a lot of that because we're going to be too demoralized to even go to the volleyball game. I'm seeing some nodding heads. Okay, here's what I'd like to suggest to you, what I'd like to leave with you. Let's have all four. Why not be abundant, rich, and wealthy in all the things that help a community succeed and thrive? Now, one last quickie. What is this? This is an annual line item in our budget for getting training in the things that will help us grow and thrive as a community. Perhaps it's permaculture design. Perhaps it's land use planning help with a consultant. Perhaps it's learning restorative circles or NVC with a trainer. We certainly don't need help with this. We already know how to do this. Perhaps it's a governance method. I recommend Sociocracy. I'm also very fond of Holacracy. Both of them are whole system methods with a governance structure and different meeting processes that work together beneficially. I recommend Sociocracy because it's more available, it's more open source, it's more easy to learn. Holacracy is created for, marketed to, and priced for corporations. And this is us, the community folks, the eco-village folks, so that's why I recommend Sociocracy. If a group uses consensus and wishes to continue using consensus, I suggest the in-street, in like the letter in, consensus method. Email me and I'll send you a handout about it. If you're interested in Sociocracy, email me and I'll send you a handout about it. Here's my email, diana@ic.org. Thank you so much for your kind attention.